ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my presentation of the paper entitled "Is Currency Momentum Driven by Global Economic Risk?" The paper is co-authored with Yannick Heinen and James Coley. Yannick Heinen is an excellent guy. He has many years working experience as an FX analyst at a large bank in Helsinki. And James Coley is an excellent guy. He has many years working experience in academia, articles and for journalists. So, what are we doing in this paper? The purpose of this paper is to close the gap between equity and currency market momentum research by establishing a robust link between currency, cross-sectional currency return dispersion and the pairs of the momentum anomaly in currency markets. This is the academic story behind it, but there's of course also a factual story behind the paper. So actually, 1 year ago, a colleague of mine was supposed to prepare for a discussion for a conference, and surprise, the paper was related to cross-sectional return dispersion in equity markets and the pairs of the accrual anomaly in bond markets. So I read this paper and had to provide some reasonable comments. I mean, you know, if you have to comment on a very well-written paper already, it's difficult to come up with reasonable comments. What we can always do is we can ask the colleagues if they might have to also. So of course, I gave them some of my comments, and I read the paper, and surprise, in this paper, they cited, teacher had cited himself, in the same paper, or in the paper from 2014, which was a working paper at that point in time, and where he analyzed basically the link between cross-sectional return dispersion in equity markets and the accrual anomaly in equities and investment anomaly, establishing a robust link between changes in the state of return dispersion and the payoffs of the investment anomaly and the accrual anomaly in equities. So I read the paper, and then I came up with plenty of ideas. So two papers, I published already two papers that are related to cross-sectional return dispersion. And now I have two different papers in pipe, and this is one of them. There's a lot of research going on that tries to give behavioral type explanations or risk type explanations for the momentum anomaly in equity markets. But there's hardly any paper available that would investigate what are the drivers for the payoffs of the currency momentum strategy, even though the currency market is much, much bigger. So this paper tries to close this link in the literature. So there are some papers around that investigate the momentum anomaly in currency markets, but there are only two papers available that sort winners and losers currencies with respect to the same characteristics than in the equity market. That means that use the cumulative past returns over the 12-month period. This is the paper from Arsenis, Moskowitz, and Peterson that do so, as well as the paper from Bangkok et al. 2012. All the other papers, they use this momentum 1-1 strategy for currency markets, which is obviously much more popular. So that's why we in our paper follow the mainstream of the literature and use also this momentum 1-1 strategy. Why is the FX market important? So we can at least come up with three good reasons for why investigating the currency market might be of interest. First of all, in terms of turnover, the currency market is more than 10 times larger than the equity market. Second, the currency market, the actors actually who are active in the currency market are very big institutions like banks or huge companies who are active in the export-import business. So these are referred to as professional traders. The third item is that the liquidity in the currency market is much higher compared to the equity market. So the spreads between ask and bid prices are much tighter. So how do we contribute with our paper to the literature? So first of all, we show that the return dispersion, or the cross-sectional return dispersion in the currency market and the cross-sectional return dispersion in the equity market are tied together. In statistical terms, they are co-integrated. That means, in the long run, the same risk component drives both processes. This is the first paper, actually, that establishes a robust link between the equity market and the currency market. There were many papers already circulating around which trying to establish a strong link between these two markets, but no paper failed. Second, what we show is when currency return to conversion is low, the payoffs of the momentum anomaly in currency markets is actually very, very low, very, very little. As we move to a state where the currency return to conversion is high, the payoff is about 1% higher, with a new best thesis of between 3 and 5. That means that our results are extremely robust. And what we also showed is, as risk increases, as we move from low cross-sectional currency return dispersion to high cross-sectional currency return dispersion, the payoffs of the momentum 1-1 anomaly are increasing monotonically as risk increases. And this is exactly what we actually want to see in asset pricing. How to compound? So the next question is how to compound the measure for cross-sectional currency return dispersion. In the literature, there is no consensus achieved yet. There are some papers who use portfolios and other papers use the whole cross-section of stocks. Because there's no consensus achieved yet, we do both. We use portfolios sorted by carry, we use portfolios sorted by momentum, and we use also the whole cross-section of currencies that we have available using the same data set as provided from Asian Value Fund. Since the data for the equity market is more restricted, our data set starts from 1994 and runs to 2010. Simply because we have not enough observations for stock indices available before 1994. So these are the three equations modeling the cross-sectional currency return dispersion as we see as we move from equation 1 to equation 3, using the carry, the spot prices, the spot returns, and the portfolio swap by momentum. Then we use the 3-month moving average, which is also aligned with the current literature, which means that we lose the first 2 observations. The same we do for the cross-sectional return dispersion for the equity market, which we see given by equation 4. Again, we use the 3-month moving average, and by that losing the first 2 observations. In order to check the robustness of our results, we employ which is called the relative cross-sectional return dispersion. And what we do is actually we use these 4 measures and then regress it simply on the market factor, which you see here in the first parity. This is just equal-weighted average of the carry, spot, or momentum portfolios, or here for equities as well, and the absolute value of market factor. And then we use the residuals of each of these equations, and then again we take the 3-month moving average, losing the first 2 observations. So the relative return dispersion is actually, as I said, it's the residual process of these 4 equations, and then taking the 3-month moving average, losing the first 2 observations. So what comes out then? The next step was that we regress the cross-sectional return dispersion of the currency market on the cross-sectional return dispersion of the equity market, and then we use the residuals of this equation and test it for stationarity. If we know, or we can show, that the residual process is stationary, this implies that these 2 processes are co-integrated. And surprise, surprise, what comes out is that on a 5% level, the residual process appears to be stationary, implying that the same risk component drives both processes, the equity, cross-sectional return dispersion, and the same for the currency market. The next step of analysis was then that we follow basically the empirical framework as in the Stambaugh paper to technically do a similar analysis, but using the investor sentiment as a state variable, which is also highly persistent. The same is for our cross-sectional currency returns token. It's also a very persistent process. So what we do is we divide the whole sample into below and above median values, and then we choose a dummy variable, giving us the below median state and the above median state of the cross-sectional currency returns token. Then we simply regress it on the long leg, the short leg, and the long leg short strategy. The same is done in the Stambaugh paper as well. Important is now the last three columns where we test the long and short strategy actually. And if our hypothesis is true, if cross-sectional currency returns token would drive the payoff of the momentum strategy in terms of a risk-based explanation, then we would expect that the payoffs in the high state of cross-sectional currency returns token would be higher than in the low state. And this is exactly what comes out, and you just have the view here on the last two rows. The point estimate, or the return difference between high and low states of cross-sectional currency returns token is 1.04 or 1.11% per month, with US thesis of 3.11 or 3.28, indicating significance on any level. We do, actually, the next thing was that we also account for the two risk factors from Lustig. So we include them in our regression framework, in our dummy variable model, and do everything all over again. And then we test again the return difference in the high and the low state. And the results do not change. Unfortunately, I don't have a slide here available. I don't know what is happening to the slide, but when I prepared for this presentation, the slide was still there. So something might have happened on the way. Who knows? But what we did then, we wanted to see whether the spread of the momentum anomaly is really monotonically increasing as the risk in the economy increases. In doing so, we followed an approach from Sun 2005 paper. So we divided the observations of cross-sectional currency returns into 4 states of the world. So the first state, we have 10% of the observations where the cross-sectional currency returns has the lowest values. This is a state where where everything in the economy is kind of glory, so the economy is expanding, low risk. And we moved to the 4th state, where we have the 10% of highest observations in cross-sectional currency returns token. This is a stress state where everything in the economy was crazy, like in the financial crisis period, for instance. So then what we do then, we again code 4 dummy variables, indicating us these 4 states in the economy, and regress the pairs of the momentum anomaly on these 4 dummy variables. And what comes out, surprise, surprise, the spread of momentum 1-1 anomaly is linearly increasing as we move from step 1 to step 4, satisfying the conditions for risk-based explanation of momentum pairs in the currency market. So what we do, we contribute to our paper to close the gap in literature by offering a risk-based explanation, or at least a partial risk-based explanation for the pairs of momentum 1-1 anomaly currency markets. We established a strong link between the FX market and the equity market, given by the stationary process that keeps the cross-sectional returns curve in the equity market and the currency market together in the long run. We also show that the payoffs of the momentum 1-1 anomaly are linearly increasing as the risk in the economy is increasing, which satisfies the conditions for risk-based explanation of the question,